Maneva na sema PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV de osia dem yopo.
Welcome back. So let me read some comments for the minister. Great interview so far. What are his plans for raising government revenues? Number 1. 2. Are there any plans to review any parts of the DDEP program? I think that's an important question. The question 2. Any plans to review any part of the DDEP program? Yvonne Aku Asempa, good evening. Bernard, ask Honorable if there will be posting of nurses and midwives and other allied health professionals this year, because some of us have been suffering after 5 years of completing school. Kofi Akoto, Honorable Finance Minister, are you saying an individual like Adapaz's account is more than that of government of Ghana? Well, he did not say that. Benjamin Akodele, is there a freeze on employment in the public service as it is being claimed in the budget statement? All right, that's a question that's coming. Can Bernard ask the finance minister about venture capital trust fund and how they fit into the budget? Some businesses depend deeply on it. Another one. Bernard, negotiations was made and an agreement signed concerning utility allowance for all senior staff of universities last year, October, for payment to begin in November. We want to know if it is captured or has been captured. And will this be paid? Keep me anonymous for security reasons. So many questions. Let's group them. Would you do anything about... do you have any space to do anything about DDEP?
I think you cannot.
You cannot?
You cannot. You cannot for a simple reason. In the debt restructuring agreement, there is a clause called comparability treatment clause. What this simple means is that all the debt that you hold, apart from bilateral, multilateral debts that are not restructurable, you should treat all of them the same.
So if you change one, you have to change everything?
If you change one, the bilaterals will ask for their share. If you change one, there is a clause that will trigger. It's called clawback clauses. The clawback clause is that if you change one, all the gains you made, like you heard the MPP celebrating that debt to GDP has come down because of haircut. Immediately, all the people that you gave them the haircut, they are going to get their hair back.
But can't you say that domestic domestic issues are different because of its effect on the macroeconomy in a different way?
And so in the beginning, you should have excluded it as part of the debt restructuring. But since you included the domestic debt as part of the debt restructuring, then the issue of comparability clause, treatment clause triggers. And so you have to treat all of them the same. So unfortunately, I mean, based on what has been done, you can't go back to that.
That's rather troubling. Why did you restore nursing and teacher training allowance? Some things is politics, because this it was considered a populist policy by some of the NDC people, and you've maintained it.
Oh, but
you've allocated 400 for nurses training allowance, 200.
During the campaign, we never said we were going to abolish it.
But should you be paying these people these monies when you are in a situation that you just described here?
I think even if you are going to decide not to pay them, you can't do it abruptly, because some of the students may have gone to school with the hope that that was going to happen. And so the policy decision has not changed. And if the policy decision has not changed, you have to make provision to pay. And that is exactly what we've done. In the medium term, you can have a conversation around it, but you can't just wake up one day because a new government has come and decide that you are not going to pay that. It will be unfair to the students.
Is there a freeze on employment in the public service?
There is no freeze on employment.
Okay. Ebo wants me to ask you why you can't ban cash payments in all government sectors. Because if you digitize all payments, no more petty cash, no more funny allowances, reduce corruption.
I perfectly agree with him. It will have to take some time. There should be an incentive for cash-light economy. There should be an incentive for people to be able to pay their money through Momo. not punitive like in the past we used to, like we have the e-levy that we are going to remove. So currently as it stands, if you were to pay your bill via the electronic means like Momo, government of Ghana punishes you for paying that as against paying cash. And it's one of the reasons why we believe that the e-levy must go. And we have announced that. And God willing, I've just seen the bill for the removal of the e-levy done this evening. So tomorrow morning I'll be laying it in Parliament. And I expect that Parliament will take it under certificate of urgency. And if Parliament is able to do that, e-levy will be gone.
Have you laid one for the betting tax?
Yeah, I'm laying all of them tomorrow.
But did you make a mistake in the way you described the withholding tax on lottery winnings as betting tax? It led to some confusion.
Yes. The NDC prepared a manifesto. And we prepared a manifesto and signed a social contract with the people of Ghana and said that in 100 days, 120 days in office, we are going to remove the 10% withholding tax on bet winnings. Simple put, the betting tax is a tax that when you stake betting and you win, a percentage is deducted, 10% from your winnings. What we are saying we're going to do is to remove that tax. But I heard some of them saying that, what about the betting companies and their corporate income tax?
Okay.
Even your company, you pay corporate income tax.
We do.
Everybody else pays corporate income tax. But what we are talking about is the tax on individual winnings.
That's what you are going to remove.
That's what we are removing. So we are removing the one that the incidence
falls on the individual.
On the individual.
But the
incidence on the betting company, like any other company, you have to pay corporate income tax if you make profit. That's what it is.
Your predecessor says the emissions tax was never collected.
Oh, I thought he said the betting tax was never collected.
He said that too.
So it's not true that the betting tax was never corrected. They corrected the
that we know.
Tax. Yes, it started sometimes in 2023, August. I checked this
morning.
What
about the emissions tax?
The emission tax, they had planned to collect it. And the emission tax is in our books as a tax. And the GRA had planned. In fact, they started collecting the emission tax and they withdrew it because of the elections. We had promised the people of Ghana that if we are to win, we will withdraw the emission tax. As long as the tax remains in the books of the Republic of Ghana as a tax,
you will remove it.
You have to remove it. If you fail to remove it, it's still a tax and someone can implement that tax. And so we are removing it. You can see that we have not costed that one.
So you say you also abolished the VAT on motor vehicle insurance policy.
Correct.
Have you put the amendments before Parliament?
Oh yes, all the amendments are going to Parliament.
This week?
Yes, this week. But I'm going to start from tomorrow.
So let's be clear, betting, the law, the amendment will go today or tomorrow?
Will go tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Today is gone, yeah.
E-levy tomorrow?
I expect to do the e-levy, the betting, the emission, all of them tomorrow.
VAT on motor vehicle insurance?
All of them tomorrow.
Withholding on winning of unprocessed gold?
Exactly.
What about COVID?
COVID levy, I think I explained that. I explained that and said that we see the entire VAT regime as a tax that has been distorted. And it will require a comprehensive review.
All right.
And if you are to only pick the rate and remove it, you are not solving the problem. And the problem will be that you need to look at the entire VAT space and reform it. We have requested for a technical assistance from the IMF, and we are also setting up a task force. And the task force is supposed to work with a technical assistance report and be able to advise. And we've given
But your preference is
that we will remove that by the end of the year and we'll reform the entire value-added tax system. And we believe that it requires some good reforms.
So in that reform will mean that we will not have a sales and ad valorem together?
Exactly. Just like we have today. I have never seen a country where we operate both sales tax and ad valorem tax at the same time. No one does that. You choose one of the two.
Will that include a reduction of the basic VAT? Because VAT is 15, NHL is 2.5. Get Fund is 2.5, before the COVID is 1.
Yes.
So in that thing you are proposing for the IMF to do, are you also saying then that you are reducing the basic 15?
Okay, so what matters most is the effective VAT rate. So you have the statutory rate, 15, 2.5, 2.5, and 1, giving you 21.
21.9.
No, 21,
21
for statutory
yes,
rate.
yes.
But because of the cascading,
that's why
because of the levies, it becomes 21.9.
Good.
So the effective rate is what matters in the VAT computation. Our work is simple. We intend to reduce the effective VAT rate. If you stop the cascading and allow all of them to be charged as a rate, then remove the
and then remove the COVID too.
And remove the COVID too, so the effective rate will come down. And that's some of the things we.
But from the way I see it, probably reach like 18.
Well, let's see.
Anyway, Bernard, please extend our appreciation to the Minister for the uncapping of the NHIS fund. However, can he explain whether the Mahama Cares and Free Primary Care is going to share the same 9.9 billion allocated to NHIS?
10 billion.
Yes.
So
is it? Are they going to share that money with NHIS people?
Okay, let me take you through this.
And this is Baba, National Executive Council member of the Private Health Facilities Association. So he's laid his cards on the table.
Yeah,
so explain.
So first of all, the National Health Insurance levy was capped since 2017. And the problems we've seen, and I shared this as part of the National Economic Dialogue, and I said that the problem with the National Health Insurance is that, one, the government has capped, and two, we've seen some inefficiencies in the way they spend their money. When the scheme started, 86% of the total amount were going to claims. Today, it has declined all the way to 57%. So the problem is not only the rate, but what we are saying is that the National Health Insurance Authority must begin the process to outlaw some of their non-core activities, to increase their claim payment to a minimum of 75%. Minimum of 75%, just like we have done for the District Assembly Common Fund. And in the coming days, the minister responsible for health will be addressing Parliament as part of the new budget format. And he's going to address all of these concerns. In fact, the additional 4-point-something billion that we have given to National Health Insurance, we're not there. We are saying two things are going to happen to the National Health Insurance. First, reduce the non-core activities and give more money for claim payment and resolve the issues that Baba.
So basically, like Cocoa Body, you are saying no more Cocoa roads.
No more Cocoa roads.
So everybody should focus on their core business.
Focus on your core business, because it is the responsibility of the minister responsible for road and the Ministry of Roads to construct roads.
So you agree with that recommendation from the Economic Forum?
Exactly. And in the coming days, you see some.
Let me read more comments before you go. William, this is the first time I've heard a finance minister explain economic issues devoid of jargon. Kudos to him. So after our economics was not rocket science. That's Willie. Professor, I won't mention the full name. Bernard, very disturbing but illuminating interview. I wish the young man well. His heart is in the right place. May God help Ghana. So that's from a professor watching. Please, I'm watching from Senegal, Dakar. Ask the minister, when is the DDEP ending? And what are the plans to begin servicing the country's debt? Chris?
We are servicing our debt.
DDP, will it end?
The DDP has ended. The restructuring is over, and we are servicing our debt. And we will service every debt to the penny, and we will pay on time.
Bernard, ask him, it's very urgent. Will there be any hope for security forces recruitment this year? Number two, ask the minister. The EC is blaming the finance ministry for the delay of payment of temporary officers. Can he explain why the money has not been released? Ekuban in Konongo. Is this true?
I just came to office. I've been at the Ministry of Finance for 5 weeks. And over the last 5 weeks, my preoccupation has been to look at the budget and write a budget and look at policies that will change the fortunes of our country for the better. And that's what I've been concentrating on. If there are issues relating to non-payment, I will address them as soon as the budget is passed by Parliament.
Can you ask the minister about the fate of those of us who have our funds locked up or investments locked up in Gold Coast Financial fund management. Charlie, people want you to answer all the questions in Ghana. There's a lot of questions. I have a very interesting question for you.
Thank you.
Before you go, ask the minister, after all his figures and economic planning, what does he do for fun? This is from Nana Kwesi Akwa. Wakwe. He said you are too serious.
I sleep a lot when
sleep
I'm free.
a lot.
Yes, I sleep when I'm free.
So is it the work that's affecting your hair, or your hair has always been like that?
Thank
because
you
you haven't
very
spent
much.
only even 2 months in the work and your hair is finished.
No, my hair has always been like this.
You prefer it like this?
I lost my hair when I was 22 years. That's always been like that.
Why? Was it accounting? Was it a charter accounting?
No. It has always been like that. I think it's genetics. I inherited it.
But you chartered?
Yes, I am.
Accounting is tough,
yes, it's like any normal course.
But it's funny because you're a tax man, and tax people like you and Setekwe, people say it's not, you like tax too much.
Oh, no, really. I mean, look at this budget. We have not imposed much taxes.
Are you not giving us false hope so that next year when you start raising the taxes again?
You see, you tax sectors that are doing well. And if you watch this budget carefully, this is a budget that you can simply call it a people-centered budget. It's a budget for the people. We touch lives. We touch the vulnerable in particular. And the budget was done in such a way that you want the key social sectors of the economy to grow. And then you largely recognize that in the last few years, the average Ghanaian has suffered so much, from hyperinflation to high cedi depreciation, to a situation where people have lost so much of their money. And all put together, the adjustment that has happened in the last few years is so much that the ordinary Ghanaian is suffering. And so what we did is to find a way to ensure that the average, the vulnerable, is protected during difficult times like this. And that's what we've done. At the same time, we have reduced expenditure and cut waste. And by cutting waste, we are reducing government expenditure in a way that will not borrow more, targeting stability and growth. So the growth is going to come from productive sectors of the economy, and I'm hopeful.
Two final questions.
Though we've done our projection is at least 4%. We may be better.
On radio, some people said, when your brother is on a mango tree, you don't eat mango bunu. So Central Region people say there are roads. You have to do something about it, because the Accra Cape Coast Road is being done, but there are many roads in the Central Region, even including your hometown, which are in a very bad state.
Yep.
Have you heard them? Can you do something?
Bernard,
can you do anything about those roads?
Bernard, I am an MP.
Okay.
I represent the good people of PENDREAM and Siam. I've been representing them since 2009. This is my 17th year representing my constituents. I know their needs. The country is also in trouble, and we are fixing that. It is my responsibility to marry the needs of my constituents and the needs of the people of Ghana. I will do it, and I'll do both, and I'll do it well.
How do you intend to stop the overbloating and inflation of government projects, which is one of the main challenges of corruption?
We are going to establish an independent office for value for money.
In Parliament or in the ministry?
No, it's going to be an independent office. We will send a bill to Parliament for approval and passage. And His Excellency the President wants this established as soon as possible. So we are working on the framework. And when that happens, Parliament will set a ceiling where every government project up to that ceiling will have to go through value for money audit. Currently, the deficiency is in sole sourcing only. But an office for value for money will not only limit it to sole sourcing, but selective tendering and even some competitive tendering. You have to pass value for money audit. And so we are still working around it. It's been done in the United Kingdom, where the current government, the Labour Party, who are also in opposition, promised, again, an office for value for money. We are studying their structure, and we hope to do even better. So
when you read the budget, a lot of people said this was one of the few times they understood the budget, and the positive reactions were there. We've heard Guta and Co say the budget was okay, but the minority leader said it was an Azaa budget. Were you surprised?
I've been a minority leader before, and I can understand his work. So let's allow him to do his work.
And he said, "Hey, Atu, is this still your friend to describe your budget as an Azaa budget? Somebody who we thought was." I don't know. He's from a his constituency is not far from yours.
No, two constituencies apart. Kwamna is.
And you're both Kwame now?
He is my former friend.
He's your former friend?
He's my former friend. Now he's my brother.
And yet say your budget is Azaa?
Well, let's say he's doing his work, and I respect that.
Do you understand his approach as minority leader?
I do. I recognize the pressure he's going through. His party has just lost an election, and their number in Parliament has reduced from 138 to 87. And we've reduced them yesterday. The majority leader said we've now reduced them to Osonon Kitinkiti. and you know, they are in a position of ensuring that at least the Osonon Kitinkiti
as against Akukon
Kitinkiti. So you can understand. I can understand his frustration. He has to do his job. The expectation is so high on him. His party, currently, as we speak, he's the main voice for his party. And so he has to do his job. And I appreciate that.
I appreciate it. So your message to Ghanaians is that you can do the job? My
message to the Republic of the good people of Ghana is that His Excellency the President means well. And John Mahama will fix the situation. And we will assist him to fix what he has inherited. Though bad, but there's hope. We'll fix it.
May God help us all.
Thank you.
Atu Forson, MP for Ejumako Enyanesiam, Minister of Finance. He said he lost his hair at 22. So it's not your work that's taking his hair. May our work not take our hair. In Jesus' name, amen. Thank you for watching. Stay with Channel 1 Television. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
PENDREAM TV. Now, so far so good. Say open online portal e Ghana. Nipa share, nipa follow, nipa comment here. To my best of knowledge, without any biases, PENDREAM TV.